One, two, three.
Hey
Guys,
guys,
welcome back.
welcome back.
Welcome back.
I hope you guys had an amazing past couple of weeks.
How are you guys doing?
So hit
guys
us
are
up in the comments, tell us how you've been. If there's anything that you would like us to agree in prayer on for you. Prayer does changes things, and we have been experiencing that and learning that over and over, for the past couple of months. Well, for the whole year, from January.
A different year, but we wanted to just share with you guys some of our experiences over the past few weeks, well, 3 weeks actually, because baby is 3 weeks. She's gonna be 4 weeks. Can you imagine? She'll be a month
very soon, in a couple of days. So we would just want to share on what we've learned so far on being new parents.
And I guess she'll share some of her new mother tips. I'll share some of my daddy tips, and these are things that work for us. It may not be universally applicable, some of it might be, but it's just what works for us. So I hope you guys learn something, and I hope you guys stay blessed.
Hey there, I'm Shamaine.
And I'm Rashad.
And we're the Prospers. So first of all, I would like to start on, my breastfeeding experience, right? So, being in the medical profession, somebody asked me the other day, so what have you learned? Have you learned anything new on parenting or taking care of children? Because I know you guys are doctors and they would have, taught you guys certain things in medical school. Yes, to a certain extent, we've learned quite a bit and we've been able to apply it now that we've had a child. But certain things they did not prepare us for. So one thing is when it pertains to breastfeeding, right? So I was taught that when you get to at least 37, 38 weeks being pregnant, you would start to at least, leak a little breast milk and colostrum. So I remember 38 weeks, I started squeezing my breast every day, trying to see if any milk would come out or anything. Nothing. And I'm like, okay, probably as soon as I give birth, something would start. So I had a C-section, and I know, yes. So I had a C-section, right? So a couple, like the same night of the C-section, they put baby on my breast. Nothing.
But if you had seen the frustration on her face, she's like, because it's like you have this baby developing inside of you. You have this idea of bonding. Your baby's gonna come, your baby's gonna latch instantly. You guys are gonna bond. You guys are gonna be best friends.
Yes. So apparently nothing was coming, no milk, no colostrum was coming, and I just wanted to cry. I'm like, I'm a mother and I'm not able to feed my baby using my own breasts. So then the second day, same thing. The nurses were like, oh, be patient, just put baby on the breast, and the sucking is going to initiate the production of milk, and nothing. At one point, baby's blood sugar got to how low? 49, 48.
And then that was like panic mode, because like she's definitely not getting
anything. And then they had to be giving her top-up feeds of formula, and we wanted to exclusively breastfeed, or at least for 6 months, right? And I just wanted to cry, because you're giving my baby formula, and that's not what I wanted. That's not how I envisioned this whole process to
even
be.
the nurses as well, because there's been a campaign in St. Lucia recently where the nurses encourage mothers that breast is best. So they try their best to keep the babies off formula, unless if it's absolutely necessary. Like the mother can't produce formula, or she's HIV positive, etc. Remember one night we decided to try an experiment. I'm like, babe, we're not sure if she's getting milk. That was our thing. We weren't sure. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do an RBS for her. I'm gonna stick her in a little foot, take some blood, put in the glucose monitor, and then we're gonna feed her.
We're gonna put on the breast.
And then do another one for her after, and then decide if we have to give her a feed. And it just so happened the first one was 83
before putting on the breast.
She went on the breast, and then about an hour later we did, and it went up to 95.
So she was getting something.
She was getting so small, because every time you tried to pump,
nothing would come. Nothing. So apparently her, suctioning using her mouth was, allowing a little bit to come out, but using the pump, nothing at all was coming out. So then when the the OBGYN came and they did wrongs, and I voiced my frustration to her. I'm like, this is day 2 and I have not produced any milk. She reassured me, just be patient. So a lot of the times for mothers who had gone through C-section, it takes at least 3 to 4 days for milk production to start. And that I learned something that day.
Yes.
I never knew that. They said even for mothers who gave birth naturally, sometimes it takes at least 2 to 3 days for milk production to start.
But especially for C-section mothers in particular, it takes a little longer because the body did not. It's like the body has not recognized that the child came out because of the way that the child came out artificially.
Yes.
So it's about, the first thing we learned in that aspect was patience.
Patience, yeah. And then the thing is, so on the 3rd day, right, all that time persons gave us advice.
Resurrection.
Start drinking cocoa tea without milk, no spices, just cocoa tea, water and sugar. You grate the cocoa tea in the water, you boil it with sugar, then start drinking that and you will start producing milk. Okay, so my father-in-law started giving me, from day 1, he started bringing, my flasks with my cocoa tea, and I would just start chugging on it and drinking just saying, God, please let the milk come. So on the 3rd day, right, I decided to just squeeze the nipple a little, and I saw milk, and I was over the moon.
It was two drops came on.
I was so happy.
You got a white gold.
I was so happy. So that process, so persons kept saying, oh, the cocoa tea worked. And then the nurses were like, oh, you just needed to be patient because the process takes a little while because you had C-section. And I'm like, oh, God answered my prayer. So everybody, the 3 different situations, we were attributing the success of milk production to 3 different situations. I was attributing to God. Persons who gave advice of the cocoa tea were saying, oh, the cocoa tea worked. And the doctors were like, oh, it's just the natural cause because you had a C-section. It takes time. But I'm like, it's just God. You can say what you want, the medical book says something, the superstition says something, but when God wants something to happen, in His time it happens. So all that was required was patience.
True, but I would still encourage new mothers who may be having a similar situation, while waiting for God to do His thing, you can still drink the cocoa tea.
Drink the cocoa tea. I think
still
it does
have
work.
Patience, still drink the cocoa tea and just wait for God's timing to be right.
Yes.
At least it puts you at ease knowing that you're doing something
in the process.
And also one of the things about cocoa tea is it's a form of hydration, and you are going to need the hydration for when you begin producing milk. So by all means, continue to drink your cocoa tea without milk, without spices, and be patient.
And then now I think that I'm over lactating, so that's a different topic. So now that I've started producing milk, I'm producing too much. I'm producing more than what baby needs. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I would wake up with like this morning, I woke up with my clothes soaked with milk. The bed was soaked with milk. And mind you, at midnight, I went into the shower because I was engorged. My breasts were enlarged and painful. I had to go into the shower, put on a hot bath, and just squeeze out, express all of the milk manually. And then by morning again, I had that big letdown. And sometimes it can be a bit frustrating knowing that you're producing so much, and when you want to go out, you have to ensure you express before you go out because you don't want to be engorged when you're out. Or you have to walk with your pump with you, and you have to keep expressing like every 2 hours. It can be a bit frustrating when you're over lactating. So I guess there are different sides of the spectrum. You pray for one thing, God, let me produce the milk. Please help me to produce the milk. And then you're getting so much milk, now we don't know what to do with the milk.
Right now, we don't even have space in our freezer.
Yeah, because I kept storing in the storage bags, and now we're out of space.
Out of space in the freezer. We had to start taking out some of our food to keep baby's milk in the freezer. So now any new milk that she pumps out, we use it to bathe baby in, to add to the bath water. There's the breast milk helps with some of the
skin conditions, eczema, and so on. So then,
but I wanted you to share with them about the thing about the letdown, because when you told me about that, like how you can feel when you're about to make milk.
yes, you can feel. So on a normal day, your breast would just feel light and normal, and then you would feel like something is pulling on the inside of your breast, like pulling painfully, and you would realize that your breast is getting heavy and it's becoming painful. And then when you put baby on the breast and baby starts sucking, you would feel like the other breast, like something is pulling on it and the milk is coming out, and you just see the milk dripping. That's a letdown.
Yeah.
So as baby's on one breast sucking, then the other breast is gonna begin to just let out milk, express milk on its own. So that's what we call the letdown. So once you have baby on one breast, you have to put something there to catch, to collect.
So we plan on doing a video where we go over some of the products that we've been using over the past few weeks. Just to give you guys, honestly, there have been some of the products that we didn't know we were going to need. We got them, some people gifted them to us, and it's just been
amazing.
Like, amazing. But it's been really cool to see like when baby's feeding and milk is just dripping on it. It's like for me it's kind of weird but cool at the same time. Coming from somebody who was like, I'm not making any milk, and she would be frustrated and I can't feed my child
and then we were producing so much. I have been producing so much milk that we're like, what are we going to do with the milk? So then yesterday we decided on a Saturday to make Sunday lunch. So one of the sides of the Sunday lunch was dasheen pie. So we were like, babe, we have so much breast milk in the fridge. What if we put the breast milk in the dasheen pie instead of using cow's milk?
Some people are gonna be like,
I know when I was small and my mother had my little brother,
same for me.
I tasted the breast milk and then it was super disgusting. But then I've been tasting my breast milk and it's actually palatable. It's sweet. So yesterday we made tea using breast milk and we added Milo to it, and it was actually good.
It was like one of those like really testing.
But at the back of your mind,
this is so disgusting.
Yeah, but should we be doing this?
And the person was like, you know what? Maybe the reason you find she made the milk sweet is because you love her.
But I find my own milk sweet.
Well, because you're a sweet person.
Oh my gosh.
She's sweet. She's sweet.
Anyways, so
everything about you is sweet.
Thank you, babe. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Right, so the recipe called for milk, at least a cup and a half of milk, right? So instead of using, a can of evaporated milk,
Can of cow's milk,
or cow's milk, we use a cup of Charmaine's breast milk.
Charmaine's breast milk, which I put it on stores in the shelves.
And trust me, that was one of the most tastiest. That was the tastiest dasheen pie that I've ever had in my life.
It was okay. It was organic though. This was alright.
So we've been trying to make use of the milk. I know it's unconventional, and some people may turn up their noses at it, but it's my breast milk, it's my husband, it's my family.
Yeah, and we even plan on making some soap for baby. So
yes,
we can use some soap for baby. And if push comes to shove, I mean, we have friends with pets.
I don't know how I feel about giving my breast milk to dogs.
It's better than throwing it away. That's the thing. I don't want to throw it away. But this milk story has just been so amazing, to the point where baby finds herself drinking milk and she has milk all over her face, her mouth, her eyebrows, her hair,
everywhere.
Like it's like she's trying to drink milk from a pipe.
Because the breast produces so much milk, sometimes she doesn't know how to control, the flow of the milk.
Can you imagine milk all in her hair, all in her eyebrows?
And then when she's done, she'll be what we call milk drunk. Yeah, she'll be like that.
And her belly full.
Her eyes rolled back.
It's like, boy, I've been so sweet.
Oh my gosh. So that has been our breastfeeding journey. So it has been quite an amazing one.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So the second thing, that I've learned in this season is to be careful what advice you take from people and what you allow people to proclaim over your life. So one of the most annoying things is actually when people tell you, they would say, oh, you sleeping at night? I'm like, oh, we're actually sleeping very good at night. They say, oh, check me back in a month and you'll see. And I'm like, why would you say something like that? One of the things that we prayed for during pregnancy was to have a very calm, a very well-behaved, a baby that sleeps through the night. We prayed and prayed for that. And by week 2, baby was sleeping through the night. And I would wake her to feed her. And then persons would tell me, why are you waking her to feed her? She would know when she's hungry and she would wake up and she would start crying. So I have been trying to stop waking her in the night and just let her sleep. Like last night, I let her sleep through the night, and by 5:30 in the morning, she woke up and she was crying for milk. So I didn't have to wake her. So that's one of, sorry, babe. So that's one of the things that I have been, trying to just
we're experimenting.
Not experimenting, but I have been taking what I've been taking what people tell me with a grain of salt, and I've been rebuking a lot of the things that persons have been proclaiming over my life. Not because you went through it that way means that I have to go through it that way. And people, stop telling people these negative things. If you have nothing good to say nothing at all. Just see us and say nothing.
A wise man once said nothing at all.
Exactly. Just hold your head, shake your hand, and pass us straight.
Yeah.
Because if it's God's will, and if He meant for us to, be up at night and, just taking care of her, and she's a very fussy baby, it would be that way, but He would give us the grace to go through it. So, exactly. Her middle name is Grace. He has given us grace, and that's one thing. Whatever He throws our way, He has already given us the grace to go through it. Yeah. And I'm happy that for this season, He has given us a baby that sleeps through the night.
Yes, like she actually, so initially we would do the whole wake up every 3 to 4 hours. And then we were encouraged to let a little bit more time pass, and then she'll let you know, she'll give the cues. Now, initially, Shamin was very concerned about her going hypo in her sleep, and then her just kind of entering like a hypoglycemic coma. And I was like, but Shamin,
she passed that phase.
She has put on so much weight. She's so chunky. She'll start to her body will start to break down the fats to at least give her some sugar for a couple more hours. So we started extending it a little bit from the 3-4 hours to the 5-6, and then by the time we do 6 hours, it's already close to morning time. So we make sure we change her every 3-4 hours, change her through the night, and we just kind of check on her. Is she kind of giving some hunger cues? If not, then we just continue to leave her. But she will wake up. One night she slept. She woke up so happy, like 8 o'clock, when you had fed her early in the midnight.
And I love to see when she wakes up and she does that newborn stretch with the scrunch, and she stretches and then she starts rooting. It is so cute. And like I was telling my dad today, I am appreciating and I'm cherishing this phase where she cannot talk, where she is 100% dependent on me for everything. Because once this phase is gone, she can talk and she will tell me, Mommy, I don't want that. Yeah. Mommy, I want that. Mommy, I'm not doing that. And they want to be as independent as humans. They're little humans. So I'm cherishing this phase where she has to depend on us for everything. So we can alter whatever we want. We can do whatever we want without her input. So this is the best phase.
So in terms of me, what I've been learning is we've been learning her different cries. She has different cries for different things. People have always said, you have to learn your child's cry. I always thought it was just one cry for everything, but she has a specific cry when she's hungry. Well, she doesn't even really cry when she's hungry. She just kind of fusses when she's hungry.
You see?
But you see the hunger cues there. She's just looking for, and if you give her a kiss on the cheek, she tries to eat you.
Yes.
She's like, trying to eat you. And you kiss on the cheek, and so these are the cues that let us know that she's hungry. We've come to the point where, and we listened to somebody who was a parent who had told us that as soon as your child wakes up, you feed them and you change them so that you know if they continue to be fussy, it's not because they're hungry. Another thing that we have come to learn is that a lot of old-time parents, or like people in our parent generation, the advice that they always give us is, oh, every time she cries, she's hungry. And that's not the case. Like we have said, we got the advice from a parent and it works perfectly. So when she wakes up, the first thing we do is we feed her. So if she starts crying in 15 minutes, it's not that she's hungry. There has to be something else. We've noticed that she doesn't cry much when her pamper is dirty. She doesn't cry for food, but she cries when she wants to sleep. She cries when she wants to sleep.
And she loves contact naps, meaning she wants to sleep on you. She wants to feel your warmth. She wants to listen to your heartbeat. So she loves that, and she would cry just to be on you. So once you're on her once she's on your tummy, on your breast or on your chest, she's quiet.
And she likes. I realize that she likes quality time. So you put her down. We give her a pacifier. She stays. You're with her. You can stay for an hour. That's fine. You leave for 5 minutes. She spits out the pacifier. Then starts to cry. You come back. You put the pacifier in her mouth. You leave again. She spits out the pacifier. She begins to cry. You come back. You put the pacifier. You stay, and miraculously, that same pacifier just stays in for another half an hour. She just keeps staring all over the place. And we've been trying to take the advice of other people to engage her. We try to keep her without her socks whenever the room is at a nice temperature so she can pass her legs on different materials. That's how they interact with their environment. You bring like these baby books, the different materials that make different sounds. There's the cotton, there's the little wool, it's like different things, so she gets accustomed to these things. And we shake the little things around her. So that's one thing that we're learning, to kind of understand her cries. And you spoke about your breastfeeding experience. For me, it's the putting her to sleep experience. When we just came home, the first couple nights were rough. She just kept crying and crying and crying, and then you're kind of worried that you're waking the neighbors, but at the same time you don't want her to be crying. And we kind of figured out that she does not fall asleep when you shake her. You have to actually walk with her.
But no, I feel like she's out of that walking phase. She actually self-soothes and she falls asleep on her own now. We don't have to do anything for her to fall asleep.
All you have to do is just stay by her.
This girl is a little angel. Like, everybody asks me, so how is your baby? And I would respond, she's an angel.
As long as you're next to her and you give her the pacifier, she will fall. You put her on the bed and she will fall asleep.
And what I realized, when she's fed up of the passy, she would spit it out and she'll just continue sleeping. So she isn't much work at all.
And she has like all these little things, like when she was younger. Let me see, when she was younger, when she was like a week or 2 weeks, when you give her the bottle and she was filled, she would actually raise her hands to her face. And then she would spit out the bottle. There's nothing you could do to put the bottle back in her mouth. And then one thing I love about her is her burps. She has like these really big burps.
And she burps on her own. As soon as you're done feeding her, you hear the burp.
So I really think that this young lady is an answer to prayers. God has just been blessing us. And even so, over this week, we met so many different people. And I feel like God just sent all of these people at the right time where we were. We met a neighbor a couple of days ago and we sat down, we had a conversation while we were going to town, and she was just encouraging us, and I'm like, it's so good to have Christian neighbors. It's so good to have neighbors who believe in God. It's so good to have people who can encourage you, because sometimes you're just hoping for a little bit of encouragement, and it's almost like, God, have you forgotten about me? And then you meet somebody and that person just pours into your soul.
And like one morning we were walking again for an early morning walk, and like a random neighbor, we never met him before, but he just pulled up and he's like, yes, Dr. Secret. He was like, oh, I live up the road, my name is Dr. Secret.
He's like, pray for that child.
He's like, christen that child. The devil is after our children, and you need to christen that child. That child needs to grow up in the fear of God. Bring her up in the fear, like just randomly.
And he's like, I may sound odd, but in my mind I'm just like, no sir, you're exactly what we want to hear.
Exactly. It's like a reminder. And it's so true. We were speaking to the other neighbor yesterday. The enemy is really after our children. In the schools, he's taking out prayer. He's taking every form of Christianity out of our schools. And it's just the world and the world system. But we have to start from home. home, to groom them in the fear of God. And one thing that I've been learning to do is to pray into her future. Pray whatever you want to see into her future, not just for today, but for her teens and her adulthood and everything. So he told me once that his mother used to pray as he was a little boy for his wife.
And for my kids.
Exactly. So from now, no matter the age of your kids, as young as they are, start praying into their future, because the enemy, he doesn't just plan for now. He plans for 70, 80 years down the line. And the same way that the enemy can sit and plan for years down the line, us as Christians, we're supposed to be taking territories. So we take and we claim the entire lifeline of our children. We claim the entire bloodline of their children and their children to come. We have to do it from now. We cannot allow the world to dictate, the lives of our family. God has given us power over the devil and over his agents, and we need to use that.
And I was telling Shumaine, fun fact that unlike for boys that produce sperm in puberty, girls are actually born with all their eggs at the time of delivery. So she has all our grandbabies inside of her already. But Shumaine is like, oh, don't think so far ahead, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, it's just a cycle of life, man.
I just wanted to enjoy her being that young for now.
If we're talking about grandkids?
Yes, but I will prefer the grandkids. Fine. I would pray, but just sit down and think, do you know that she's going to give us grandkids? I don't want to think of her leaving us just yet.
No, I didn't say she's going to give us. I just said that, do you know that all her eggs for grandkids are there already?
I know that. But just thinking about it, I want my girl to stay young forever. I wanted to stay a baby forever, but she can't.
But right now she's following objects with her eyes. It's just been a very, you read these things in the pediatrics textbooks and the milestones that you expect at different months, and you're seeing them happening. She's following light, she's following objects. I'm just waiting for the social smile. That's what I'm really hoping for, because you get every once in a while a sleepy smile, but I want you do something and then she smiles.
Yeah, they smile in their sleep.
Yeah.
The superstitions and the grandparents say that it's colic.
Colic, yeah.
It's actually colic.
Yeah.
So they smile in their sleep.
I'm just like, if I had a colic, I wouldn't be smiling.
I don't think they know what they're doing. That's the thing.
She's smiling because she's having a nice dream. She's dreaming of her dad. And
I don't think maybe... they dream.
Okay,
they don't have any memories or recollection.
Actually, babies may not have visual memories or imaginations as yet, but they recollect the sounds that they heard through the 9 months of development in the womb. So when she dreams, she may not have visual dreams. I believe, granted there's no documentation of this, I believe she has auditory dreams.
Okay.
She dreams about being in a place that she does not know where it is, but she just remembers the sounds and the soothing of the heartbeats and the
All right, I get you.
Yeah.
But then another thing, I think let's start wrapping up, right? So the last thing is, what do you guys think about? We know our stance on christening, but we've been going back and forth as to when is the ideal
best
time to christen a baby. We wanted to do it very soon before she gets her vaccines, but you have to take into consideration that her immune system is still vulnerable and she cannot be around these large crowds and so on as yet. I understand
and some people have encouraged us to wait until she at least gets a 2, 4 and 6 month vaccine.
So after 6 months?
And I was talking to my pastor today. My pastor said, hey, guess what? I once dedicated a child. I was 8. He's like, the parents were like, yeah, I'm dedicating a son. I'm dedicating a son. And he's like, he's looking for the baby and he sees this big tall boy looking like he could have been writing common entrance any day now.
I think that's a different story.
Fair enough.
But I just believe that God has gifted this little girl to us, and I want to gift him this baby,
Like Hannah?
Yes.
Well, in the case of Hannah, if you want to go biblically,
I think
Hannah waited until after the weaning process.
She weaned the child first. Yeah. I think it was a year or so after.
So weaning takes about 6, 7, 8 months or about.
So hit us up with your thoughts on when is the best time to christen a child.
Yes.
I think I was christened about 6 or 7 months. at 6 or 7 months. I'm not too sure, but I think I was born in January, and they give you a card after your christening.
Oh, really?
I think on that card I saw April, so that was like I was like 4 months.
Okay, were you christened? Where were you christened?
At my home church
Where
in
was
St.
that?
Vincent.
Where was that?
Peniston Apostolic Faith.
Okay, I was christened in the Catholic Church.
Because your parents were Catholic
Yeah, parents were
before.
Catholic at the time.
But then when you guys started at the Pentecostal church, were you rechristened?
I'm not sure. I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't recall because that was about when I was like 8, 9.
Back then they don't call it christening, they call it your baptism.
No dedication.
Baptism. No?
Oh well, yes, at the Catholic Church baptism.
Yeah. Where they sprinkle the water.
Ma'am.
Yeah. So you were baptized.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you for sitting with us.
Thank you for sitting with us.
We hope that you enjoyed, the things that we spoke about, and you were blessed and you were encouraged in some way.
And I hope that some of our advice, you guys may, I know it's not universal advice, but I hope some of the advice may work for some of you guys with your babies.
Yes, or mothers, expecting mothers,
Yes.
So feel free to ask any questions, like I said before.
And above all else, guys, remember to
Put God first.
Have
We
a
love
blessed
you.
week. We love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. We're now at 461. Thank you guys so much, and may God continue to bless you and use you, and may God continue to
Yeah, babe. You know to extend things, eh?
except for sex.
Apparently.
So for those of you who are new to our channel, this is a channel where we speak about love and relationships, marriage, and everything in between. If you don't know where to start, I would like to encourage you to either select one of the above. Feel free, guys, to explore the content, and I hope that you guys are blessed.